Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful. Roll time. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you get it time. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning. Wow, that was weird. The audio like cut out early there. That was a little weird. All right, well, let's come through here. Oh, you know what? I got one thing I got to do here. For starters, is I got to close that. Oh, okay. So let us come over to our other workspace here. Oh, hold on. Oh man, everything's all screwed up. I'm already feeling anxious today. Good grief. I didn't load the workspace. What's with that? Okay, so overnight action yesterday started out pretty ugly in the S&P 500, but they were able to recover it by the end of the day. There's kind of like this bad news is good sort of thing going on again, right? We come over into the treasuries. The treasuries pushing up pretty strongly. They did come back a little bit yesterday. Come on, load. It's still loading. Well, anyways, oil just took a huge beating yesterday. Down $6, no, $10, over $10. They lost over 10% yesterday in oil. Natural gas, also fairly far down, but still like causing a problem over in Europe. Gold and silver also getting beat by the dollar going up. Copper, pretty ugly. Can we see the treasury now? Here we can see the treasuries. Treasuries up quite big yesterday, although I did not get paid. I actually had a short at one point after the stream, and all I did was catch this thing right here. So unfortunate, but that happens. I wasn't necessarily looking to be like filled or anything. I was just trying to bring the spread in, and they decided to hit me. And like the crazy thing was I was up pretty big at one point, but they wouldn't let me out. They wouldn't let me out. So, but I think I've solved some of those problems. Something else here is going on, though. I don't know what it still is. Hey, Gervasio, thank you for subscribing for $1. Now you can use the rainbow bear emoji because we're in a bear market. We're in a terrible bear market. All right, so something on my machine. I think it's Jigsaw, which would be weird. That would be the first time that Jigsaw's ever hung on me like that. Yeah, I think it is. Why? What the heck? Okay, yeah, I have done something weird. Okay, hold up. Where is all of my memory going? Like all my system performance is a little silly here. Why am I using 23 gigabytes? That didn't even make a blip on it. I think that I may have that a piece of hardware may be dying on my machine because I was checking my DPC latency, and it wasn't very good. I suspect that my video card may be failing me. Maybe on the out. Let's see if we can, if our quick restart fixes our problems, eh? I want to know why Microsoft Teams has to use 400 megabytes of memory. That seems a little silly. Okay. So that fixed our problem. It was just a weird problem with the startup. But we look like we're okay. The 30 year is still being stupid. We did have some news, so let's get our oh, actually we didn't, but we have Feds Williams is going to be speaking at the top of the hour. Okay. So yeah, I am going to do a little bit of yeah. I really hate how the robot jumps in front of you no matter what you do. These are moving around quite a bit here. So we were getting a good jump going into the session. So I'm wondering if it's going to do what it was doing the other day. Understand why they're a little skittish. I'm actually, you know, as much as I would like to mess with that. Never mind, it passed. Might make more sense for me to do something in the 10 today. Oh, interesting. So some volume did go off in here. By the way, let's turn the, I still have this Vista over here. Circle tuner should be literally 0. Yeah. Because there was a move there and it show me a bubble. I would like to see a bubble. All right. Interesting. And now they're opening the spread up. That's curious. Are we getting steepening? We are. We're getting a little bit of steepening. Okay, well, the spread there in the 5-year seems acceptable. We'll recenter there. Okay. Well, so far it's kind of looking a lot like the other day, where it's just like right out the gate they start moving up. Mr. Bond, good morning. Look at that. Okay, well, there's a big order at 16, as they are apt to have. And there is a little bit of volume trading here just below it as well. Now, typically what will happen here is that they will get through that order and then bust up a little bit higher. But we shall see. It sure seems like a mad scramble here at the beginning. Okay, not hitting into it too aggressively yet. There's a good bid. Okay, there they traded it all. 2,400, huh? Okay. Japanese yen, by the way, moving up with us here. Yeah, there is a lot of volume on this buy, isn't there? So I find this a little odd. They're gonna trade a ton there at 16 though, right? Okay, and they hit 16.5. Now above us, we got even further targets, right? I have a real risk though of that 16 kind of becoming an anchor. Yeah. Interestingly enough, the micro 10 did not move down quite as far as the treasury moved up. Yeah, so they are pulling back from that. It looks like flattening coming in on here a bit. And there's the 10 coming back now. I don't know. Maybe this somebody really wanted to buy, and they got their fill at 16, I would think. And it's been a while since we've seen one trade quite like that. You know, a 5K. You used to see a 5K every day. Yeah, I mean, we've seen them recently, but not in the last week or so, I'd say. So they're returning back to the scene of the crime. I wonder. Okay, so there's somebody is selling here quite aggressively now. They put 2,000 on. I wonder if a market maker just did not like getting all of those fills there or something. It's a little I'm having a day this morning, guys. It's a little suspicious to have such a large offer placed down there at the bottom of a swing like they have at 11. But we have an okay bid at 10.5. Nobody's hitting 11. Probably would need to get that bid above 1,000 before they would really do anything too crazy. But, and look, the 5-year is still getting hit down. So that don't look too good for us. Well, we've still got a good 15, 20 minutes before the top of the hour. They recover that 10.5 really easily. So they kind of formed a note here at 16, right? But then they fell back to before the news in the hole at 10. Okay, that's a little bit stronger of a bid, but they had to push a little forcefully to get it. Okay. What? Yeah, he pulled it. What a load of bullshit. 2,500 stacked, offered at 11, and only 90 trade. So, clear spoof. Clear spoof. You say that there was a spread at 120.12? What is our 5-year doing here? Looks like flattening overall again. There's all sorts of crazy things happening in UK politics right now, by the way. Private Parliament Secretary Clary Coutinho resigns. Other people resigned, and there's just all sorts of zany stuff going on over there. Oh, okay. So now, even though it's not the case, I want to know. Okay, it has gotten to the point when you say, "Hey, the 30-year yield has fallen below 3%." Okay, which one? Which 30-year yield? Because the spot on the run indexes say not quite. Not quite. Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear News Squawk report that one. By the way, guys, if you didn't hear News Squawk, you don't have to. I'm not going to do an affiliate link for them or anything like that. But News Squawk is doing a deal It's significantly cheaper this month to get a year subscription. So if it's still more expensive than Financial Juice. I think it comes out to like Financial Juice is like $70 a month, and New Squawk will be like $150 a month. But it's significantly more affordable than what it was before. So especially some of you high rollers, you might want to take a look at that. Was talking to one of their sales guys. He actually gave me an extended trial so I can kind of see the difference. I have to say, one of the things I really like about New Squawk is that they have all of those reports, like their morning report, and they have reports before the auctions that are useful. Yeah, they're having a hard time getting above 120.12, aren't they? The 30-year seems to be pushing now. Ouch. And only 98 contracts to make it go offer at 11. So, kind of getting gains here, but the 30-year got ripped down there. S&P 500 looking not so bad at the moment, having a little bit of a bull run. That was kind of a little bit of like what was happening yesterday afternoon, was like the treasuries were ripping higher, and then equities, I guess, decided that they liked that or something, and so then the the treasuries retreated. You want to try and program bond auctions? What, just like showing the event on there? The problem I've always had with indicators of that nature is just finding a good data source that will, has a good API to interface with. It's just not, there ain't many out there. Okay, now a decent amount is trading at 10.5. Well, yeah, look too good for us. News Squawk didn't say no yet to offering me therapy. Okay. They said no one has ever asked for it. Oh, that's interesting. Yield's not reacting to this movement as dramatically as I would have thought. Okay, there's a significant 1 or 2 ticks up. This time, the 5-year leading the charge, though. Mostly, though, looking at a chart of the spread, though, the spread is not actually changing all too much. Okay, well, now we're starting to get up movement with very little resistance again. So are they going to transfer that? Maybe not. Maybe not. They must be following the yen. I mean, the yen is is moving around here? I'm laughing at a headline, but I'm not going to talk about it. No. Okay, so when they passed through their 12.5, there was a significant offer there for a moment at least. We got about 10 minutes. We come in here, double check. Due to deliver opening remarks at a webinar hosted by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Okay, so that one is one where I'm not sure how significant his comments will be. It's their own conference. Let's see, I need more information than that, I think. What is the title of the conference? Oh, this is just to see the past speeches. Not helpful. That crypto lending firm Voyager Digital files for bankruptcy. I'm surprised that it took that long, and Bitcoin's not reacting to that one at all, though. Today. Probably already priced in that one. Gold's kind of making a move here. The dollar under a little bit of pressure. Well, they got to 12. It was looking okay. Instead, they decided to revert into a range. And we're kind of towards the bottom end of that range at the moment. I'm trying to dig it out there, but... So they're kind of showing the liquidity hold behavior right between 10 and 10.5. So the decision we have to make is if we want to hold this through to when Williams starts speaking. Mhm. You know, I was thinking about what Mr. Bond was saying earlier about like Newsquack says that nobody ever asked for their data. It's kind of an interesting thing because the people that can pay for their services are probably like already doing something else, you know? But like I often find in the futures retail trader future space that there are like opportunities. There are things that it just seems like it would be no duh that people would do, and they're not. You know, like the best example is the spread charts in Ninja Trader 8, right? I wrote a spread chart for Ninja Trader 8. It's crazy that nobody else has done that, or that nobody else had done that yet, rather. Of course, they don't do it now because I did it, but, you know, things like that. In Ninja Trader, the simulator does not handle thin instruments like the micros very well. You can't sim those at all. It'll think that you run it even against live data. It thinks that you got filled because of the way that the bid and offer move doesn't wait for volume. So the simulator is completely useless over there, right? It's just things like that. It's all over the place in the retail space. Like opportunity is there. Is just like how do you capitalize on that opportunity? Is I find incredibly difficult. What do you mean by audio distribution? Oh, really? Are you really getting crackling audio? Is anybody else getting that? Oh, well, that's incredibly bizarre. Okay, let's see if I come over. Did it just start or has it been doing that for a while? Oh, it is. Well, now that's incredibly curious because I definitely don't hear anything, so I don't think it's the microphone. And, well, maybe it is a little hot. Wait, I forget how I even do this. Like that. And that. How about now if I just turn the mic down a little bit? Try that again. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah, it's only when I speak. I don't know what to do. Yeah, that's really weird. How about now? Test, test, test. Nope. Test, test, test. Hmm. That didn't go away. I'm when I'm listening to it over here, it didn't go away. Hmm. No, it's super weird. I don't know what else to do other than like restart the broadcast. No, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not that. So if I come over here and I run it on Audacity. Hey, Hydro. Testing, testing, testing. Oh, wait. Maybe it is that. It, thinking here, thinking about my trade too, kind of, it's not going so well, right? It could be software related. The thing is that my monitoring, I'm not hearing anything. So I think the easiest thing to test this would be to try it a different. Well, let's try a different chord first, okay? Test. Okay, testing, testing, testing. Same thing. Could be I changed my focus rate settings yesterday. Could be my buffer size is too high. All right. How about now? That's weird. Are you guys hearing anything? Nope. Worse. Oh, you can actually hear something when well, I was playing the live stream over here. I was not hearing anything. Okay, so it is the audio interface though. Okay, so I'm going to restart OBS, okay? You just sit tight. We'll be right back. I'm actually thinking I might need to restart my machine to fix this problem. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, are we back here? Yeah, I think we're back. Sorry, guys. That took way longer to fix than I thought it would. I think that, I was messing around with my digital audio workstation last night, and it must have messed up my Focusrite settings. I come in here, like, it has changed the sample rate. I think I don't know. Anyways, it should sound fine now, right? No buzzing and crackling. Well, let's open markets back up and see what we missed in the last... How long has it been? Oh, it's been about 40 minutes. That took about 40 minutes to fix. Does it sound any different to you guys? Sounds good? All right, good. Yeah, I think that the sample rate got mixed up. But I updated my my audio card settings, so I guess that's good. The Focusrite drivers are a little wonky sometimes. At some point, I should probably upgrade, but... Well, it's a good thing that I forced myself out of that trade, because that looks like that went way south. I really hate it when you get that kind of market where it's just crazy long, and then they give it all up. Like, what the heck? What the heck is going on? Was that original thing just a trap? I don't know. And look, here's the 5-year being stupid again. Oh, okay. That's a little better. 2-year. Not the best. Oh, we're getting movement. And baby sure struggles a lot in his sleep. All right, so now that I've got the stream up and going, am I going to have to go and check on the baby? Yeah, looks like I might. Man, they're pushing lower there, significantly lower. Am I missing something? Still a lot of headlines about Boris Johnson. Something's definitely up here in the treasuries, but Not quite sure what it is. I'm going to switch my workspace over to this one. And close these. Don't need these. Cool. Okay. I'm just checking a couple of things here in my workspace. No, I don't need that one. I mean, I'm kind of tempted to go along with the momentum in the treasury, but I'm just a little weirded out that it's doing that. Oh no. Yeah, so she didn't wake me up last night. I didn't necessarily get to sleep at the best time though. Something's been off with me today. It's kind of funny that we ended up having that audio issue because I just kind of woke up feeling a little anxious. So, I came in here, took a trade. It was going really well, and then turned south on me really quickly. I'm not really sure why it's doing what it's doing. There seems like a pretty dramatic shift in the treasuries for no real reason. So I'm probably just gonna, you know, sit tight, chill out, I think I'm just gonna chill here, reflect on the audio problems that I just had. you know? Uh, I mean, I think it was because I was messing around with Bitwig last night, but it must have changed the sample rate to 41,500 instead of 4,800. And I don't know. This is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It does that. See if I come over here into the settings of it. Automatic. I wonder. So if I come in here and I load a project that's really expensive, like this one, I may have to, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. Running this with everything else going on is probably a bad idea. But with the default sample rate that it gives me, it's probably not going to be able to handle it. We'll see, but it's probably not going to be able to handle it. It's got too many Yuhi divas in it. They're doing pretty expensive synths. Yeah, you can't even. It's not even coming out through you guys. Sounds good. It probably takes control of the sound card, so. Yeah, just a little bit. Hmm. Can't handle it. Let's see, it's using oh, that sucks so you guys can't hear it, but it's using internal buffer of 192. I don't know. I could just have it be delayed or something. Or maybe I need to come in and freeze tracks. Or get a better sound card. Get a better sound card. Wow, Treasury's taking a dive there on the news. Manufacturing index, or wait, what did I? Okay, S&P composite PMI 52.3 versus an expected 51.2. Schultz jobs openings was higher than anticipated. That's probably what's kicking them down. Look at that aggressive orders sitting on top of them there. Wait, what? Are the treasuries really sitting there with like? Okay, I'm like, really? Okay, let's recenter things a little bit. I'm gonna try and fix the 5. There you go. No. You gotta do it within 10. So you gotta do it right here. There you go. It's a little better. Pretty flashy though. Man, orders went off all over the place in the 10 years. So I'm surprised that this news, so that maybe explains why they moved the direction that they did. But I've never seen such a dramatic reaction to that news. It could be the Jolt's jobs openings, because still seeing a lot of job openings out there would be a sign that Because the whole thing is that the labor market is overheated, right? That kind of doesn't suggest that it's cooling off, although it is openings. How low can you go? No. Well, I might be convinced to get in a trade here if it would going like that. Let's just come back here again. Services PMI 52.7 versus 51.6, higher than expected. Composite 52.3 versus 51.2. Non-manufacturing 55.3 versus 54. Jolts job openings 11.25. They did do an initial dive there off of the original ones. I don't know, man. It's a little overly dramatic here, I think. What do you think, guys? Well, given some of my other difficulties earlier today, I feel like I shouldn't take a trade, but I feel okay now. I don't know if I'm 100% in sync with the market. That sure did seem like an overextension on the downside, though. But a solid labor market would decrease the risk of a recession, but increase the chances of more tightening, or how to interpret this. Yeah, well, so I think what they're doing, my best theory at the moment, rather, is that the numbers that we just got suggest that the Federal Reserve's tightening interest rate policy is not having as much of a tightening effect on the labor market as anticipated. So what it kind of is looking like now is inflation pressures are still there. Federal Reserve will still raise rates. So the rates are going up here quite dramatically, I might add, because this whole, oh yeah, there's going to be a recession, they're going to have to back off sort of a thing is taking a little bit of a hit. Like I would have expected, or for us to be like for sure going into a recession right now, you know, I would have expected all of those numbers to be less than anticipated and be below 50, maybe. So, but I think that kind of what you're getting instead is that there's a divergence between the manufacturing markets and the services and non-manufacturing markets, right? So manufacturing isn't doing so hot. They are facing increased price pressures, and the government is just not doing them any favors, and the dollar is really, really high. So that really hurts exports, right? But everything else seems to be doing okay, which does, I think, reinforce that the Federal Reserve does need to continue raising rates. But that dollar being almost 107 now is not a good thing, right? Remember the calendar is backwards? What do you mean by that? Well, here's our chance to go long rates if we want. Now, interestingly enough, the indexes seem to be reacting more to the economic numbers being good, more so than they are reacting to interest rates rising. The delay. Not really any more news on our calendar for today. Tomorrow we get big news, and Friday we definitely will. Though I wonder what that says to what the employment situation will be on Friday. Maybe not as dire as maybe some people thought. Although, again, like the difference seems like not as, I don't know, oh yeah, that's true. We do totally forget about that. We don't have anything else during our trading session, but we are going to get the FOMC minutes. That could be a ride. Yeah, that could be a little bit of a ride. The pretty strong reaction for ISM data. Where is... With sentiment in free fall and U.S. macro data serially surprising to the downside, enough to prompt dramatic reductions in expectations for the Fed's rate hike trajectory, analysts expected services surveys to follow their manufacturing brethren lower in June. S&P Global U.S. Services PMI printed 52.7 in June, up from the flash print of 51.6, but down from the May print of 53.4. U.S. ISM Services printed 55.3 in June, down from 55.9 in May, but better than expected, 54. Notably, S&P Global points out that the U.S. composite new orders falls for the first time in almost 2 years. The S&P Global U.S. composite PMI output index posted 52.3 in June, down from 53.6 in May. The latest rise extended the current sequence of expansion to 2 years, but was the softest since January. This slowdown in growth was broad-based, with both manufacturing and services seeing weaker increases at the end of the second quarter. Business confidence also waned, dropping to the lowest since September of 2020. Treasuries continue to pull back here up to the higher end of their range here, maybe even possibly retreating. I'm wondering if they're just going to take their profits and maybe it turns around from here. Because again, it does seem like a little bit of an overreaction. I'm mostly basing that off of that you just don't typically see that big of a reaction to these numbers. A weaker expansion in output reflected a renewed contraction in new orders. The first in almost 2 years, new business was down all across both monitored sectors, with new exports orders also falling. Rates of input cost and output price inflation remained sharp in June, but eased amid softer demand conditions. Most notably, employment for both services and manufacturing contracted in June, according to ISM. Okay. So that's good. I mean, relatively speaking, for inflation, that's the Federal Reserve would like employment is a little overheated. It is a little overheated, and they'd like to cool that off. June saw signs of a broad-based weakening of the economy, with demand now falling in both the manufacturing and services sectors. While the survey data pointed to a stalling of GDP at the end of the second quarter, a downshifting in the forward-looking new orders index and a drop in companies' future output expectations hints at falling economic activity as we head through the summer. Demand for goods and services from households is showing signs of moderating substantially due to the rising cost of living. Meanwhile, tighter financial conditions are starting to hit, and it was notable that the service sector slowdown was led by a steep drop in financial services activity. Ding, ding, ding. Meanwhile, there was welcome news in terms of a marked easing in upward price pressures, but it's clear that price growth remains elevated despite coming off recent peaks, all of which points to a bout of stagflation in the near term. And then Zero Hedge adds their note. Not exactly the picture of health the Fed keeps painting as being capable of withstanding multiple rate hikes for the rest of the year. And they are pushing down now towards the bottom end of this range. I was thinking, hey, maybe we could go long treasuries. When it was up at 20, sorry, we could go long yields. When it was at 20, sure. At the moment, I'm thinking no. Spread does seem to be on the downside, so they are flattening again, which is good for our, if we want to buy the 10-year. 2.87. There's a good amount of volume through this whole area here in the micros. The market makers are still kind of trading around. It's a little slushy still. G59, welcome back. How are you doing? How are you doing? Oh, look at that. That's a little bit of a oh, nope, missed it. Oh, you know what? It wasn't a real order anyways. Disc, Seth. Seeing that like 235 trade there in the micros, I was like, okay, they're gonna take it for sure. No. Well, a lot of volume just traded there at 119.16. So we have fallen now a whole point. What? Jeez. Wait, where did we start? Oh, we were in like the 8.3s, 8.4s. Yeah, 8.4. So 3 basis points up. Oh, look, it's coming back. It's coming back again. Man, the S&P 500 is all over the place, man. All over the place. 8.7 wouldn't have been too bad. Now, this in the 5-year is a little, yeah. I thought so. No, we need, I think that there's a lot of people that have been going long here over the last week or so, and treasuries are getting caught off guard here. Look at that. Take. Oh, I don't like that. Look, there's some volume printing there at 14. I don't like what I'm seeing there in the micro. The spread completely disappearing. So it's interesting to me also that they did seem to be front running this. Yeah. There's definitely a hole there at 14.5. See it there at 15. It's like they bid it up. They're only bidding like 90. Now, part of that was because the 5-year wasn't going, but yeah. So let's see if they have enough to make it back out the other side here. Probably not. Like that 16 is already kind of look like they might lean on 16. Okay. No, they went through it without much resistance on that one. Higher. Might be a little too volatile for me to be trying to touch. Look at that. Okay, there's a large order in the 5-year there. Bid, no. There's just a lot trading there at 30. Okay, so they noted there that not the bids at 8.7 didn't pull, and paused for a second when that happened, but they decided to go through it. So how much was this? That the actual deltas through all of this volume are actually a little bizarre. It's not a straight downward trajectory in terms of volume here. The S&P 500, of course, is just a complete and utter mess, but okay, well, we'll see if I got a good spot for like the short term, like how I executed it. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with how I executed it, so we'll see if it runs for us or not. Hmm. Dancing around quite a bit. Okay. So it looks like there is a bit of a hole at 18. They got dragged back into it. At least in the 10-year they did. The 5-year went a little bit further than that. I'm kind of sitting here going, okay, so with as much volatility as this is causing, how come we're not seeing more autocorrelation in order flow than this? That seems a little unusual to me. Yeah, see, so we got another little drop there. It kind of looks like they could be heading down, but again, is just kind of like the volume is just kind of messy more than anything. Volume is kind of messy more than anything. Lots of volatility everywhere. S&P 500 maybe trying to pull out another little run here. Still seeing a lot of headlines about Boris Johnson. Michael Gove has told Boris Johnson he must go. Why are they so unhappy with Boris? I don't understand. This all also very much makes me wonder what was up with that crazy bull run that we had at the very beginning of the session. That may have just been like trend following sentiment, totally market driven, and maybe somebody was kind of leading them along, as it felt like a trap. I totally fell for it, right? Alligator, in my opinion, there's no strong case either side at the moment. After such a collapse for a week, pain probably increases risks. Well, there's definitely going to be more volatility. You can see on the offers, there's not very many offers out there, right? So they're below 1,000 in the offers in the 10-year. So I think that this may have, well, I mean, they kind of were moving around yesterday too. But so the market makers are a little bit hesitant to provide liquidity overall. Okay, hitting into 1,000 lot at 15. But that's actually kind of a positive sign because we did have a little bit of a hole there before, right? And then way back at 18, we got pulled into a bigger hole and fell back into it. So to see that there are still sellers down here towards that lower end is we want to see those sells continue to come through for a move lower if that's what the way you're positioned. Okay. Getting shoved there, a little bit of shoving now. The 30-year sitting right at those lows, 10, 30 and 10. 5-year not quite there. This would be a spot to look for a reload. Yeah, and in this kind of situation, you could see the reload. Usually when they fall, it's more likely that they just fall through. But because we're getting a pretty active market, we could see reloading here. Not that time. Not that time, so. I think people are a little upset that they are not allowed to come to stripper party Downing Street 10. Is that really what it was? Is there was a stripper party? Wait, wait, why are they upset with Johnson? Or was it that he did that? Are you basically it was a political scandal is what you're saying, right? Meh. New York Fed, thank you for joining our webinar this morning. You're welcome. I totally went, right? Okay, so they did come down to those lows and it was looking pretty well. Actually, they did print new lows, didn't they? They did print a new low by a tick at 13, but only 47 contracts into it. Quite a bit of shoving when it happened too. So might have been somebody stopping out there. I still have yet to see really strongly correlated order flow in the 10-year. Now in the 30 and the 5, we are starting to see a little bit of a trend in the cumulative delta moving down. But I'm not really seeing that in the 10-year yet. They've just kind of been falling through so far. Okay. Few more traded 13. So not a strong offer, but do you think that if the S&P 500 breaks above its high here, like 3850, if the treasuries get shoved even more down? Well, logic would push for a swing pullback as fears in the U.S. may not materialize as more balanced. Free lunch is over. Energy prices could make the difference at the moment. It's in complete meltdown. Assets, safe haven for European. Oh, that's a good point. It's a good point. So oil. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so after the news, oil moved down though, right? Which seems to contradict everything else. But if oil were to continue, if oil were to reverse and move up higher, that would definitely put more pressure on the treasuries, wouldn't it? Shouldn't say that will. I would think that would be much more likely to put pressure on the treasuries. Okay, there's 12. Ooh, look at that offer they put at 11.5. Followed it. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing a couple of there a little bit of chasing still in the micros. So I think the problem we could have here, I think I'm in an okay spot, but there's going to be a pretty high propensity for this to have deep pullbacks, right? Pretty volatile. That definitely, by the way, that drop down to 11, that definitely had the sell volume in it in the 10-year. The 30-year, it was getting a little bit dramatic. That was about almost 2,000 contracts on that last swing down. Or what we call it? Should we call it a swing? Pivot? I don't know. What that zag? It was a zag, right? That zag down, it was 2,000. There's the zig and there's the zag. Zig must be up, right? Because zag sounds like down to me. Am I wrong? Does anybody here think that zig sounds like down? Nah, I think that was a zag. We're inventing, dude, I'm going to use that all the time. This is going to become common trader vernacular now. That zag down 2,000 contracts. Treasuries coming back down to the lows. Now they're okay. There's a little bit of a hole above us. so it seems like they're saying that they came through that 13 to 11 area a little bit too quickly, because the offers are not very solid there. Also, we are seeing at the moment a pretty decent pullback for the Japanese yen. Man, I wonder what kind of pressure this puts on the Japanese yen. I think that the yen is probably like one of the biggest wild card risks out there. Lots of people going short the Japanese yen, getting paid today. Well, I don't know. They got paid like on that move, but it's not that much lower. It was actually lower yesterday. So, UK Parliamentary Private Secretary Mark Logan resigns. Man, it's all chaos over there. Who do they want to replace him, though? And I don't know if we can call this move back to 13 a zig, but it's a little bit of a pullback. I guess we could call it a 6-tick zig. It was a 6-tick zig. You'll see that downtick there. It wasn't necessarily anything too special about it. It was like the bid was 600, ticked down, they offered 600. So that kind of looks to me more like market makers just doing their thing. Now the take at 13 kind of didn't really have any follow through on it. So it may be at the moment that other correlated assets are not necessarily cooperating as much. We did see a little bit steeper of a pullback in the 30-year as well. Fun day trading, I bet. What did you do with the strong move up at the beginning? That whole thing was just kind of, they really pulled them in. Like it was gangbusters right from the start. Everybody's like, all right, we buying this. And then ever after that, it's just been down, 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 down. It's pretty wild. Was that a new? No, it wasn't. It wasn't a new low, but they did tick into the low. In fact, they offered out 700 and somebody bought it. But that is likely to make the range be able to extend, right? If they're willing to put that much of an offer out. Usually bottoms tend to be places where it's like the offer was really strong and everything and nobody bites, like nobody does anything, and then the offer just pulls and it ticks back up on its own. right? If they're actually like placing real volume on there, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to immediately go lower. It just kind of says, okay, well, if they're willing to trade there, right? Anywhere that it's willing to trade, I'm always thinking, okay, that extends the range, right? If they trade a ton in one location, that becomes a hole that they will rotate around. Now you've been focusing on the moves more after 9:30 Eastern time? Okay. So you've just been since the S&P 500 opened. But if you went short the treasuries since then, you'd be in a pretty good spot. There was a pretty good dip there in the treasury right there. I was trying to fix my computer at the time, but I don't think that I would have taken it short. Not until that news came out, and then I was like, oh, that's what's going on. Okay, they did print a new low. Oh, in 900 contracts at 10.5 too. Oh, now they're lining up. Now they're lining up the 5 years at its lows. Wow. Well, how many how many contracts did you take? Because even, I mean, you've told us how big it was in the past. You must have taken a bunch of contracts to be up 10%. Granted, we've had larger moves as of late. So this move today in the treasuries, it just makes everything more interesting, doesn't it? Because what happens if non-farms is terrible? Right? What if non-farms are terrible? They completely retrace this? Like we could go back and forth several times here. Well, you traded crude. Yeah, that trade in crude yesterday was insane. And it's a little alarming to me here that the oil is still dropping. I can't explain that one. Again, it's not like, okay, we can't move or anything like that. It's just like it kind of happens out of nowhere and it's so dramatic. Like, okay, it's a little weird. Probably need to adjust my camera here a little bit. Now, there's another new low. This could be a trend day. Like at this point, it might not even be like, okay, we got to move. We got some information. Okay. Is that what's driving it right now? Not necessarily. Like it could just be now to the point where so many people have to puke and yada, yada, yada. Like it just kind of, the trend day thing becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point, right? Like that's possible. It's, again, there's so many major data points ahead of us that it becomes very, very difficult to really know where it's going to go in the future. So, like, to be piling on, would be a little. You get what I'm saying, right? Like, I can't be too sure that this is I could go long rates and hold it until next week, for instance, right? I mean, well, I don't even think I could hold it till Friday. Get the jobs numbers. If they handle the jobs numbers and rates are still higher, then you get into CPI, and then things could get a little scary, right? Because if CPI is bad, then the rates are just gonna like shoot out of this world. We could just be like right back to it would be like in the 10-year, it would be like 3.25, 3.5, just like that. If CPI is bad. But that's like how far we've come in the last week. Right? We just got like a huge seesaw. Man, this zag, it still hasn't come back up enough for us to get a zig on my zigzag indicator. That doesn't necessarily mean anything other than just kind of gives you an idea of like how persistent this downtrend has been since that news. I picked an okay spot for it too. So ooh, okay, there's your zig. There's your zig. That one actually had a little bit of long volume behind it as well. Crude oil extending its losses there may have something to do with that. The dollar is kind of moving around. 6J still hasn't made up its mind what it's going to do after that initial crash. Initial crash and pullback, and then it's just kind of ranging. Nassim Nicholas Taleb says, they said there's inflation, let's buy assets, and got shellacked. They said there's inflation, let's buy cryptos, and got shellacked. And finally, they said there's inflation, let's buy commodities, wheat, oil, lumber, egg futures, pseudo caviar. And these will be shellacked as well. I mean, it does kind of seem like the way it's been is like there's nowhere to hide. The best you can do is go into cash. Like, isn't that just that's just the most messed up thing is like we're having inflation and the best place to go is to lose money in cash. Like that, but that's just the world. That's just what it's been. Carl Quintilla says, if you can wait a few days to fill your gas tank, by all means, feel free. I was looking at, yeah, I may have to go back into work at some point. Like, it's nice to be able to sit here and trade with you guys until 9:30, but normally before the pandemic, we shut things down at 8:30, right? So I was like doing the math for like how much gas it was and everything. It was something like $6,000 a year, I think, for 40 minutes drive every day. Wasn't pretty. It's probably more than that because you're gonna drive more than just that, right? Whereas right now, I hardly spend any money on fuel. Okay, well, they seem like they're able to move around both ways here. So, can't, this wouldn't necessarily be a very good place to be putting on a new position. Probably is a great place for the market makers. You probably catch one tickers around here all over the place. Rick Wilson, who, by the way, okay, whoa, wait. Oh, that's interesting. Rick Wilson, you'll notice sources close to DeSantis, Brashaw, cough, Cox, cough, So he's basically saying Koss is his campaign manager. Remember, Rick Wilson is this kind of like outsider, political consultant kind of guy that I don't think he ever necessarily went directly for Donald Trump, but when he endorses a candidate, it's a big deal because he's very good. But it kind of sounds to me. Well, let me finish the comment. They're confident they got the mojo to raise both the large dollars corporate money, the dough, and the small dollar grassroots. I'll show this thread. Did he say more? They've gotten so much love from the Fox world, and yes, Donald, the decision is made. They're going to ignore you and give Ron sloppy blowjobs from the Gentry GOP media. National Review's 39th Ron is God article is coming anytime now. And from the DC consultant class, Ron, you're the future, you're the cure, you're inevitable, you're the tallest, handsomest, smartest man in the room. Your farts smell like rainbows and flowers in spring from your footprints that he feels inevitable. Sounds to me like he doesn't actually support Ron DeSantis. That's not his candidate. The momentum is growing. His easy roll-up in Florida of the legislature and the courts has given him an authoritarian hard-on that is he clearly believes will lead him on a smooth, straight path to the Oval Office. Now, I don't think it will be quite so easy. The planning for the 2023 Florida legislative session next spring is already building. It's not about Florida. It's the DeSantis versus Trump 2024 primary platform. Expect a parade of deliberate provocations to feed the MAGA boob bait machine. Ooh, that could be so much fun. That could be, I wouldn't mind, if Ron DeSantis was playing as the conservative upstart against the former conservative upstart, that might be fun, because the former conservative upstart is, as of right late, has kind of been grating on my nerves. I'm a little tired of him. A number of increasingly obvious abrogations of legislative, judicial, and regulatory power in the hands of DeSantis. All of these will be falsely labeled as conservative, but will in fact be expansions of state power in the hands of one man. Oh man, this is a long thread that Rick is going on about here. We'll see what happens when the rubber hits the runway and DeSantis is tested on the campaign. I agree, true. He might not actually be as good on the national stage as everybody thinks he is. I really think that people are discounting that. Okay, like that's a really strong force. It's really crazy to me that we're still, well, like yesterday, I took I think it was like $30, something like that. Like the 5-year really moved. Part of it was it's the 5-year, but like, geez. And that was a pretty big move that I took. That was basically just a pullback yesterday. Now here on the 10-year, we're getting like a really strong trend move, and it's kind of just going nowhere. Well, it probably is a little bit of a hole at 10, half, 11. 11,000 contracts isn't that much. But you can see how it's cooled off, right? Like, even if the hole isn't there now, that's probably going to be where it develops. We could see, it's been an hour. So I wouldn't discount there being further down moves. But at the moment, it doesn't look like anybody's coming in and deciding I'm going to shove it again. It's just kind of like a slow and steady drop. So, okay. A few months ago, many on the Democratic side still insisted Trump was the former guy. I grew very angry that I said I want to pit Trump versus DeSantis. Why? Because DeSantis in this scenario is 2016 Jeb Bush. Oh, he'll hate that analogy, but it is correct. All of the alignments are there. Big money support, mainstream GOP, a National Review online class, consultant class, money, conservative record, and then Trump happened. I don't want either in the White House, but I do want a bloody, brutal, cut-spilling fight between them, and we're going to get it, probably. I don't think that Donald Trump will win, though. I'm not sure if it's going to be DeSantis, but I don't think that Donald Trump will win. I think that if it comes to that Ted Cruz comes in. Ted Cruz comes in and, becomes the guy. Well, that 30-year is pushing lower again. And you're not interested. You're getting push and pull here. And that 5-year yanked the 30 away from the edge. Like, not yet. I'm not filled yet. Stop it. Probably some spread trade going on here too. Like we have, geez, we've flattened a lot throughout this whole move here. So this 5-year shooting back up here, is a mean reversion essentially. Yeah, they pull back pretty hard. I'm blaming the 5-year. Oh, wait. Do we get the... that could be. That could have been driven by the yen. So they're back to this big order that was at 13.5. Kind of looks to me like they don't want to go, but if that's what the yen is doing, they might not have the choice, right? Wait, they're flattening back out again in the 5-year. What's this? Okay. That's actually a little bizarre. Well, I'm seeing a lot of flickering inactivity here. Probably a lot of people are thinking, maybe we're done here. It's certainly going through my head. There are some decent offers there, though. I think it would be difficult. The way that we're trading, you probably can get volume out of anywhere, but I think it'd be a little hard to get through 13 and 14 in the 10-year there with those large offers. Whereas at 08, down below us, the 1500 and a 1700 lot. So a lot of people expecting it to go further down, but I'm gonna bet you that some of those cancel if they go for it. Forbes, why TikTok could be in a lot of trouble. I'm not convinced anything's gonna happen with that one. Even though I know the FCC is like saying, hey, they need to do something about them. Like the worst that can happen is they give up some of the app permissions that they have. Right? They keep it going. So they made another attempt at 13, and they seem to be faltering again. Not falling down the bottom. The bottom side of this range is 11.5. Let's call it 11. Also, because they traded 11 very easily. Let's see. A little bit of pushback. Is it time for me to go already? Man, we only felt like we're just getting started. But you know what? It's because of that whole thing with the audio. Yeah. Well, Services, surveys, spikes, yields. This is just going to be all over the place all week. And I think it would be fun if this continued to just trend down throughout the day, but I don't know for sure it's going to do that. I think that there's a higher probability of it happening now after what the current situation than there normally is. Okay. But I don't know for sure, how much lower it's going to go. The volume has not been as consistently short, so that kind of works against that, right? But then we could just do the opposite thing tomorrow or the day after that, or tomorrow could be like maybe the jobless claims is really, really good, and then that could really, really spike yields, right? Like, keep in mind, we are below 3 right now in the 10-year, right? So we are below 3, and we were at one point at like what, 3.5? So this could go plenty all over, it just depends on how the data goes. So buckle up, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends, or at least lose it all.